When Joe called and said, I need Tony Roy's information, he's going to go in the New England Hall of Fame, I couldn't have smiled anymore. Because if there's a professional wrestler in New England, it's Tony Roy. Since 1992, when I first saw him as a fan, John Rodeo walked him to the ring. He went to the gym. He looked like a wrestler. He'd been trained properly by Killer Kowalski. And what I didn't know about Tony at the time was that in 1988, he saw the ad in the magazine or found out about Walters and went to the school. Trained for 6 months and was ready for his first match, or at least Walter told him he was. And Walter sent Tony, and Walter didn't send Tony for his first match to an Elks Lodge, a VFW, or even Walter's telemarketed shows. He pulled him aside and said, I'm sending you to New York TV. When you get there, lie to the agents, tell them you've had 20 matches under your belt, and get out there and work in Syracuse, Albany, and Schenectady 3 days in a row. Tony got to the building, lied about his experience, and got put in there in his first match against the Warlord and the Barbarian. And if you ask Tony, he was not intimidated at all. For 10 years from there, Tony competed on TV against some of the biggest draws in the country, safely putting them over, having great matches, and here in New England, having some of the best matches I ever saw as a fan with Tim McNeely, Mike Hollow, Steve Bradley, Jim Cody, and the likes. Tony's a complete pro who was entrusted to help train Lawrence Taylor for his match at WrestleMania. Nobody knows that. And another thing nobody knows about Tony is that in the early 90s, he met a young man named Paul Levesque who wanted to get into wrestling. He didn't have the money to go to Walters, so Tony brought him to the Nashua YMCA and taught him the basics on the gymnastics mats in Nashua. And now we all know it's Triple H. Now don't get me wrong, it's not all peaches and cream when you book Tony Roy. I've seen him do $1,500 in damage to a custom cut glass table in Holbrook. I've seen him put that French flag right through multiple light fixtures in Pepperell and Braintree and everywhere in the country, everywhere in New England. And when Tony
You killed it.
Yell it out.
When Tony went to the WWF, it wasn't all peaches and cream either. Whether it was almost sending the road dog into anaphylactic shock from wearing too much hot stuff, his decision to abandon 6 midgets that needed to be booked for the Survivor Series in New York because they defecated in the bed, peed on the rug, chased each other around nude.
Tony and Steve King ran out of Syracuse and left them right there at the Motel 6. And in a match, in a story that Tammy Lynn Sitch loves to tell, it was Raw in Hartford, Connecticut. 5 minutes before 9 p.m., 1998. He just wrestled Nick Barbary in a dark match. 20-minute dark match. Great. He comes to the back. They're about to go on the air. Tony Roy walks right into Vince McMahon, knocks his large cup of coffee all over his brand new suit, and Tony Roy was in a little trouble that night. But these days, 20 years later, since Tony started, Tony's a man, the names, they seek to be put against him when they come to the ring. Every time I see Honky Tonk Man, and me and Terry didn't put him against Tony Roy, he goes, God damn it, Steve, why can't I just work Tony? Tony's the man that can carry a kid having his first match in front of 40 family members that sold $750 worth of tickets. He's the guy that can carry 3 helpless individuals in a tag team match. And he's trained numerous members of big-time wrestling and people all around New England that have been brought up the right way, safely, respectfully, and properly trained. He's a great friend, a great son to his father, Pops, and he's welcome on every show I'm ever involved with. It's my pleasure to induct Tony Roy into the New England Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Wow. How can I follow that up? Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm with Mel Simons. I had a full head of hair when I came in here, and now I don't know. Joe, thank you so much. I say from here on, we do time limits on the speeches. I say Howard, look to Howard for the times from now on, guys. You know what I'm talking about? This speech is scheduled for one plaque with a 10-minute time limit. After 10, please look to Howard to bring it home. Fantastic. No, I just want to thank everybody. I have a million stories. Just on Sam alone, I could do about a half an hour. But you know what? I just want to say thank you so much. I mean, to God Himself for just put me 21 years in the business with no broken bones. I got to thank Killer Kowalski. A lot of people here have gone through Walter and what he's done for us. He was the Mick to my Rocky Balboa, you know. I got to thank my dad. Pop, love you very much. Thank you for putting up with us for 20 years and supporting my decision. Steve for still booking me on shows at my age. Richard Burns for together putting on such a great school. We did 8 years and we brought some terrific talent through it. A lot of which you're going to see, I promise you, nationally and worldwide. Some of the boys right here tonight are just top-class stars, world-class stars, thanks to Richard and the training he gave me with Walter. So to all of you, thank you so much. I'm not going to miss any longer and stuff like that. I just want to say how proud I am, 20 years and still going. Amen.